Now for this hour, we start with U.S. U.S. President Donald Trump has said that he was increasing tariffs on South Korean imports into the United States related to autos, lumber, and pharmaceuticals to 25%. He has also accused South Korea's legislature of not living up to its trade deal with Washington. Meanwhile, South Korea has expressed concerns over United States' recent decision, stating that it was not informed in advance about such move. According to Seoul's presidential office, the government has not yet received any official notification or explanation from Washington regarding the new tariff plans. In response to this development, South Korea is seeking urgent talks with the U.S. to resolve the trade issue. Trade Minister Kim Jong-kwon, who is currently in Canada, is planning to visit the United States as soon as possible to meet with Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. The discussions will focus on addressing the concerns and finding a resolution to the trade tensions. Now for this discussion, we welcome Dr. Sanjay Kumar. He's a journalist of the Korea Herald, joins us live from South Korea. Thank you very much, Dr. Kumar, for joining us. Good to see you. Now, how is this taken in South Korea, and how urgent is this for South Korea? And what do you think went wrong for U.S. to put such tariffs suddenly?
Asuma, here in South Korea, it has been taken as a big surprise because just 2 days ago, Prime Minister Kim In-suk was there and he met J.D. Vance and everything was in good shape. And it was perceived also in South Korea that the talks on joint fact sheet is going to be finalized very soon, and things have been agreed. But what on Truth Social President Trump has written is sending a huge surprise to not just Korean people, but also the industry stakeholders and the government. And that is why President Lee Jae-myung this morning has ordered to take this Truth Social post as on urgent basis, although the presidential office in South Korea has confirmed that they have not received any official explanation on this from the US presidential office. So what is making a lot of hue and cry among people here, it is based on the headlines and the Truth Social post of President Trump. So, of course, you have mentioned what you have mentioned is very logical that South Korea is urgently seeking to resolve this issue. But I see it as a way to engage Korea on more urgent basis, because President Trump has mentioned very precisely that it is happening because of the legislation delays in South Korea. So, but the act takes time. The process, the legislation process, and South Korea is a sovereign country, and, they have their own democratic procedures and process. Yes. And that is why it is going to take time. And there are some very important and critical decisions which has to be passed, because $350 billion is a huge amount, and the usage of that amount in foreign country, no matter U.S. South Korea relations are ironclad, alliance are ironclad, but still it is a huge amount, and that is why the Korean, it is at the end of the day, it is Korean people's money, it is Korean government money. So they need to go through such processes, and that is why many critics here are also seeing as an undermining of democratic processes of Korea. So it is news headlines. These Truth Social posts can be important asset in building perceptions and sending shockwaves in order to fasten the negotiation process. But it on the other side, it is also sending negative signals, showcasing that it is a kind of pressure tactics to finalize the things in haste.
Right. So making such haste, now that we know the Korean minister who's currently in Canada is going to be heading to US after this, what does this? Who is this individual, and what does he have in his cards to play if he gets to meet or gets to go to US as soon as possible?
Yeah. The trade minister has been mandated to bring the discussions on the next level and resolve this issue, resolve this new issue, we should say, as soon as possible. And the other government individuals here in South Korea, they are also coordinating with the trade minister, who is in Canada right now, but he would be talking to Lutnik, I guess, very soon. And he's once again going to somehow convince the Trump administration that we are committed to this agreement that we agreed to do during the October meeting of President Lee and President Trump. And I'm sure that definitely somehow this issue will be resolved. But some are also here seeing that he is going to face, he means Trump, trade minister is going to face challenges when it comes to agreement, because there are some issues of, data breach, which is being faced by an American company called Hookah. So they are also seeing it as a kind of careful element here, which has to be taken into consideration. But overall, the Korean government is in action right now, and they are organizing support of political circles as well as the assembly members also. I'm talking to you from the political circles perspective. So now the government is in action, and I'm sure that something concrete would be on the table.
Right. Thank you for highlighting that. And lastly, Dr. Kumar, as we know that South Korean delegation is of course highly capable. Are they still hesitant towards U.S. Trump and President Trump and the current administration making haste or rushing South Korea like this? Do you think they will be able to make Trump administration understand like you highlighted in our first discussion, that the question that while you were answering, you said that the South Korea is of course a sovereign country and it has its own procedures to follow. It might take time, but they were in the right course. Do you think that this is a tactic by President Trump to rush things to make maybe get
experts here, the trade and economic experts here are seeing this as a tactic of President Trump to fasten the process and conclude the agreement. Discussions were made, agreement, like both sides agreed, but conclusion was not made that time. So it looks like he is trying to, pressurize South Korea to do the things fast and conclude the agreement, so that President Trump can show the people in US that yes, see, something concrete has been achieved with Korea. But from South Korean perspective, this $350 billion is a huge amount. So concluding agreement would need, support of the opposition, support of the people, and also the government is very careful, because it has to go step by step. If it doesn't go, and if something goes wrong, because everybody knows here that Trump is a very moody president, we should say. Whatever comes in his mood, he may change the stance, and he may apply more tariffs. And the industry stakeholders are also very cautious, because although the discussions were held last time, they agreed also, but the tariff on items were not confined. So if something is done in haste, then how it is going to affect the items? And South Korea is a trading nation and export oriented nation. That is why they have to take care these things in it, and that is why it is very alarming. And on the question of like whether they would be able to make Trump understand, I think they will be able to make understand, because President Lee Jae-myung looks very committed, and he is ready to convince the President Trump. So that is giving me confidence, because President Lee Jae-myung is not looking harder on the issue of Trump's post. He is looking softer, and he is looking to go into the processes and I'm sure he has been a good politician, so he would be trying to engage many political circles and make it an issue of national interest, and alliance interest. And that is why I'm looking confident as well that they are going to sort out somehow.
Right. With that, I would like to thank Dr. Kumar for joining us today and sharing that insight. Thank you very much.